Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Roll20 Presents Dungeon the Mad Mage. Should we find out what happens when you sit on the bone throne? Should we find out? Okay.
I'm gonna guess nothing.
So, Makaria leaps up into the bone throne, much to the terror of the formerly masked friend. He's like, oh no! And you sit down in the throne, and for just a moment, nothing happens. You sit here, you feel the cold aura of the throne. You see before you the bones of this wyvern. And just when you're about to be like, nah, nothing's gonna happen, something happens. Let me see what it is. Give me a second here. Okay. So you sit down, and there is a sudden chill, the kind of like a shiver that runs through you as the armrests carved into the shape of skeletal serpents animate, wrap themselves around your arms, and sink their fangs into you.
What?
Yep. You take.
Miracle's not a snake guy, and you also didn't say they look like snakes. I was looking at it. I touched it.
You take 5 damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please. Danger ropes.
Except death. This is Michael's plan for you. Right in his story.
All right.
Well, but you didn't say that there were snakes on the arms. I was looking at it.
It was not clear before.
Oh.
Not that that would have made any difference.
Well, then I wouldn't have known it wasn't a legit bone throne.
You take 18 poison damage.
I die.
Okay, so the last thing you hear is, "Oh no! Ah, what are we gonna do?" And then you pass out. All right. So meanwhile, we'll get back to you in a second, Makaria. Meanwhile, 8 and 8 and Copper. Is there anything you want to do? Are you like hanging out? What's the plan?
I mean, I can't think of anything to do with all these silly humans pretending to be cool. I do want to start. I want to start prepping myself for a rest, I guess, but it's not going to come about because everyone's doing stuff. Unfortunately, no, I can't think of anything interesting to do right here.
Okay. All right, so you're just hanging out, just watching these nerds. Okay, all right. Well, Rin comes back, and then I presume, Jewel, is there anything you want to do down at the end of that hallway?
I guess just a quick investigation check.
You're down there just to make sure it's not a secret. Okay. Just to make sure there's no secret doors or anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
You know, it's an empty hallway. 23.
Nice. Yeah. No, it's a dead end.
Cool. As soon as she finds out that it's boring and there's nothing here, she heads back to things that are more interesting.
Okay. All right. So maybe Rin, do you want to talk to 8 and Jewel about what Ukcharl mentioned, or do you want to? Yeah. Okay.
I was planning to reconvene with everybody, but
okay, perfect.
Makaria is going to be conspicuously missing.
Yes, Makaria has disappeared
from our reconvention.
Okay, but if I saw there were snakes on it, I wouldn't.
You didn't. You didn't see there were snakes. I checked your passive perception. It's a trap.
But they were like hidden snakes.
Yeah, it's not like they were like obviously snakes. Like you put your hands down and then it flipped over and it was like, haha, snakes, and it bit you. Yeah, probably if you'd examined it with like a roll.
That's totally fine.
Yeah, it's not that I just didn't mention it. Yeah.
I was like, if there were snakes on it, it's obviously not Merkel's throne.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, yeah, you didn't.
Merkel's the king of bones, not the king of snakes.
That's right. He's the god of. He's not the god of hammers.
I don't know. Probably not.
Yep.
Okay. So I come back into the room and I am looking for 8 and our dear friend Jewel, who it looks like is down here.
Yeah. So when you all kind of like convene, Copper says conspiratorially to you, he's like, I've been thinking about it, and I didn't think that these are real vampires.
You don't think so?
And he nods. He's like, no, I'm no expert on the undead. We had a cleric for that. But I've been watching them, and I don't think they're really vampires.
Good to know. Thanks for that.
Oh.
It's funny because he's got a bag over his head. He just nods the bag.
So I turn to the others and I say, if we want free passage through this area constantly, then all we have to do is get rid of another group of these sorts that disagree with them.
What about just getting rid of this group of these sorts?
Better to have someone that we know at least clearing up the refuse in zone 1.
8,
rather
you look over, and that filthy vampire is like scratching the back of her head with her foot and just like sitting on the floor.
rather than being it being empty and then having something move in that we'll have to kill another time and another time.
Oh, that makes a degree of sense.
But you will get to kill some of them. Not these ones, but other ones.
Works for me.
Where's Makaria? I'm sure this news will excite her to no end.
Went off somewhere with a new boyfriend.
Oh. Immediately not desiring to follow any direction Makaria went.
So-
I don't think he was a real priest of Merkel.
No.
No.
Yeah, so when you're like, where did Makaria go? We'll cut back to Makaria. So Makaria, let me tell you, you wake up.
Wait, what?
You wake up. You have 8 hit points.
Okay.
So you wake up with 8 hit points and the taste of blood in your mouth. And you come to, and you're in a room that looks like it is a bedroom.
Uh-huh.
You're lying on a cot.
What has happened?
There are like drapes hanging from the wall, like dark red and black drapes. And when your vision begins to clear, you see a woman standing over you.
She looks like a pirate.
She looks kind of like a pirate. She actually does kind of have like a similar aesthetic to the other guy, but
No, it's the other lady.
She's like beautiful, and she looks like she's got like climbing arms. She's got big like ropey arms, and she has kind of like a vest on and some like piratey type jewelry. She has a scimitar at her hip. She has fangs and red eyes and like long curly black hair, and she looks up at you, and as you wake up, she says, there, now rest, my child. And she sits down, and she is stroking your hair, like, shh, it's okay.
I'm pretty sure you're not my mom.
And she says, not in the way you might imagine, no. And there's a groan from the other side of the room, and you look up, and you see a horrific, stitched together monstrosity standing against the wall. You've seen one of these before. This one has less like Tesla coils sticking out of it.
Oh shit! She's the real deal, other than the other guys.
And so you see, yeah. And this like stitched together monster man is standing there, and she says, "Don't worry about him, my protector. He's loyal. He will not harm you."
Did you make that?
And she says, "I command him." And she reaches into her vest, and she takes out a delicate, like a lace handkerchief, and she like dabs at the corner of your mouth with it, and it comes away like bloody. And she says, "I saw you. That fool priest lured you onto the throne. He should have known better. I fed you, and now you are one of us."
What?
And she nods. She says, "I have given you my blood, and it has restored you."
But actually, though?
And she nods, and she
But
says,
actually, though-
"Without me, you would not be alive. You would have died.
That would've been-
Poison tore your life from your body."
So it wasn't the real Bone Throne.
And she squints, and she says, "What do you mean, real?"
The actual throne of bones from which Merkel rules, the Lord of Bones.
She shakes her head,
Yeah.
and she says,
I
Oh,
should have known.
"You
better.
poor sweet neonate. You have not seen the depths of the illusions of this place. Undermountain will show you things that are not true in order to trick you."
Yes, and it worked. So can I? My friends were. Thanks for.
So
saving
she
me.
says, Your friends are with Uktarl.
Sure, yes.
He is false, a coward, a weakling. Him and his mewling childer. You would do better than to return to them. You are among your kind now. And she like brushes your cheek with the back of her hand. We are your friends. We are your family now. Your family in the darkness.
Okay, but real quick.
No, of course not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, she's definitely not actually a vampire.
I did Eyes of the Grave again, and she's really not dead at all.
Yeah,
And
Eyes of the Grave.
I like do that, and my eyes probably like there's like a little like thing that happens in the back, like when you like underwater fish, how they have like a reflectiveness.
Right, the membrane.
And then like they clear up again, and she like swats her hand away, and she's like, "Stop it!"
And she sees something happen in your eyes, and she's like, "Are you seeing things? It is the gift of blood. Your magic will develop over time. The longer that you are part of the clan."
Shut up! You're no more a vampire than those other idiots.
Make an intimidation check.
Oh man.
What?
Live your life. You want to be part of my cool
I
club.
got a 9.
Okay, hang on. Let me roll for her. Let's see her wisdom.
I made you go.
Yeah. So yeah, right. She slaps you. She slaps you in the face. Just
Blam!
slaps you, and she says, "Insolent child! I am your maker. You must obey me." And she stands up and like pushes you back away from her.
Well, I'm in the bed.
The golem like groans. The golem's like, "Ugh," and like takes a step forward.
Okay,
She puts her hand
alright.
up, and she's like, Now. I think this one has learned her lesson, haven't you, girl?"
Absolutely, master.
Good. That's good. And she like goes back to like cuddling you again, or she's like, "Yes, come here." And she like puts your head to like her ribs. And she's like, "Shh, it's fine. Sometimes the beast makes us say and do things we do not mean."
I hope you die.
She says, "That too you will learn the truth of. There is no death for us.
Mm-mm.
Now, my child, I have a task for you.
Yeah.
Your friends are in the clutches of my mortal nemesis, Uktarl. He styles himself a prince of darkness, but he is no prince. He is a peasant of shadows at best. I need you.
A peasant of shadows.
I need you to return to your friends, to let them think that all is well, and to find out what it is that Uktarl means to do. He has been plotting against me and my brood for some time, and I would end this feud between us."
Absolutely, I will be your spy.
And she leans in and she like gives you the intense stare, and she says, "We are bound by blood now, my child. I can hear your thoughts. Feel what you feel."
Okay, what am I thinking right now?
She waves that away, and she says, "So, if you mean to betray me, I will know, and I will punish you for it." And she like gives you a little like little fang face.
I'm so frightened.
And she she's like, "There is no need to be frightened, girl." She just believes you. "There's no need to be frightened, girl. I am your maker. We are bound by the blood. Now go, prove your loyalty to me." And she like gestures towards
Yep, sure,
the
I'm
door.
out. See you later.
All right. Okay, so you leave. And where do you want to just go back into the main room?
Uh-huh.
Okay, do I need to open this door for you?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so I go out, I like frown at the stupid fucking jerk throne.
Yep.
I think I get distracted by the giant wyvern skeleton. I just want to like check it out.
Okay.
What are the shards under it? The glass or like You said there were.
Broken crystal. You can't tell at a glance.
Yeah, where is it?
Just like in the middle of the room.
Yeah, can I like go over and take a closer look at it?
Yeah, make an investigation check.
Because I'm just like on the throne and I like hiss at the fucking on the dais and I hiss at the throne and then I turn my head and I'm like, oh right, there was this really cool skeleton. Let's see, I roll 10 and
Nah, you can't tell any more than this. This is really the kind of thing that like Jewel and Rin are good at.
Yeah, well, I'll just go back down the hallway then.
Okay.
Because I know better than to invest. Oh,
so when you enter the hallway, you just hear this like, and you come around and you see the bone throne dude. You see the Mercolite sitting on the ground, leaning against the wall, breathing into a bag, trying not to hyperventilate. He has not noticed you.
Boom.
Ah! And he leaps up and like staggers away from you. And he points and he's like, you are dead. I saw you. The throne claimed your life.
Yes, well, Merkel decided it wasn't yet my time.
Praise the Lord of Bones. And he like runs over and he takes both your hands in his. And he's like, we must pray. And he like drops to his knees and just like pull you down with him.
No, I kick him.
Okay, give him a boot. He falls over backwards.
And then I go back down the hallway.
Yeah, and as you walk away, his effect towards you has completely changed. He looks up at you with the biggest senpai eyes you can imagine. Like he's just like, you're his waifu now. So he gets up and he just like scampers after you. Like, wait,
great.
Makaria, come back.
Where are my nerd friends?
You see them having a conversation at the other end of the room. So this is the like, hey, where did Makaria? Oh. And then there she is. You see her walking down, and then there's this guy who's following Makaria. And he's dressed like kind of like she is actually, but less like a warrior.
Go away, fucking Rin, the rest of you
Yes.
whose names are longer.
Thanks.
I mean, my full name, sure, but no one ever uses that.
I wanted to show you something that my dear friend, what's his face?
And so you turn and you see this guy for the first time, and he bows to the group of you and he says, I am the Deacon Darkrobe. And nearby, someone like coughs, like, Randolph. And he's like, yeah, don't use my real name. He turns back. You may call me Deacon Darkrobe. I am an honored servant of Merkel. I speak the dark gospel to those who would listen in the shadows.
And Makaria from like behind into the next to him is just like,
I feel like Ren is currently trying to think of a cool vampire title.
Oh, yeah.
anyway, let's go down this hallway.
I've got one for if it ever comes up.
Well, yeah, no, he wants to be introduced, right? So he turns and he's like, esteemed guests, you are here among my coterie. I see that they have not yet killed you, so you must be afforded a special protection.
Sure.
Yes, we have been offered safe harbor for the time being.
And he says, I would know your lineage. Who sent you here to this place?
Merkel, duh.
Jewel like looks around and realizes where they are. Like, I'm not gonna give him a real name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blood on the dark sky.
And he nods and he says,
He's just covered in goblin blood.
yeah, right. It's all caked in your fur. And he says, a suitable name. Truly, you wear the beast upon the outside.
They know me as the Death Singer.
And he sees your violin, and he says, "Oh, we have many artists among our clan." And he turns to you, 8, and he says, "Oh, truly a death bringer. I am honored to be in your presence."
You fucking idiot.
And he turns to you, well, actually, originally they were called Deathbringers, and they changed them later because. Anyway, I like your big sword.
Yes. In a culture you're probably not familiar with, my name would strike fear into your heart.
Yeah.
It's 4.
What was it?
This is 4.
4.
And
Cool.
He just kind of stares at you, and he's like, yes, of course.
Yeah, 4 is the number of times that he's killed entire armies by himself.
And yeah, and he's just buying this whole
now
thing.
can we go?
He's like, eh.
Yeah.
Please.
And he says, go. Where are you going?
I want to show my friends the cool throne.
And he nods and he says, yes, of course.
I know where it is. You don't need to come. Go. I don't know. Freshen up or something. You smell.
And I mean,
complained at LARP events.
if you want to like get him to like leave you alone, make a persuasion check.
Okay, yeah, I do, because I need to talk about, fucking all these people over. I rolled a 22.
Okay. He says, yes, I should spread the word of the dark miracle. And he runs over to these other guys who are like sitting on the pillows, like smoking and like reciting poetry to each other. And he comes over and he's like, hey, guys, something happened with the bone throne. You're not gonna believe it. And one of them's like, oh, Randolph, why do you have to come over here and talk to us? And it's like, yes, Randolph. And he's like, it's Deacon Darkrobes. And then we kind of like it fades as the group of you leave.
All right, let's go this
Leave
way.
him alone.
Poor Deacon not getting his shit like respected.
That's right.
Come on, man. If he's LARPing, you gotta LARP back. You can't just be like, no, but Randy.
Yeah, they're not respecting Randolph's dark sona.
Look, you gotta be in character if you're gonna be in character. It's the only way.
Anyway, come on.
Okay, so everybody's gonna go.
So
Yeah,
I take you down the hallway until I can't see any more of those fucking dweebs.
Okay.
And then I say, so I did sit on, and I like, we're within sight once we get like, I keep going, like clicking into the typing spot and not into the map. I did sit on the bone throne and it was trapped and it poisoned me. But I was awoken by another vampire.
Which way was it? Up this way? Sorry, I don't really know where I'm going.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's up that hallway and then left. So like west, north, and then west again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so as I said before, there's a dais, there's a throne, there's a room with broken crystal and wyvern bones. There's another door on this side. There's several doors on the north. So the west and the north all have doors. Yeah, 8, do you want me to grab you and bring you up there? Yeah? Okay, I got you. I got you.
Jewel's gonna take a look around.
Okay.
Anywho, she wants us to kill the other guy.
Copper is standing there with his arms folded looking at the throne. And he seems like he's like thinking about something. He's had an insight or something. He's just kind of staring at it thoughtfully.
What?
20.
Snakes popped out of the arms.
And he's like, well, it's not what I expected.
The snakes?
No, when he said bone throne, I don't know. I thought it'd be something different.
Then a throne made out of bones.
He shrugs.
It's exactly what it says it is.
So Jewel, you see, you see all these bones. You make an investigation check. It looks to you like the bones aren't scattered in a way that like it looks like they fell and broke. So the crystal and looking at all the pieces of the crystal are curved, which makes you think that it's probably a sphere. So yeah, it's broken pieces of a crystal sphere and then the bones of a wyvern on the floor.
She'll probably mention that and like look up and be like, was there a thing that maybe it could have been hanging from?
No, but the ceiling in here is pretty high. It's a big arched 70-foot.
I don't think she can think of anything that would involve a sphere with a creature in it. But she'll definitely say out loud what she like. Oh, this looked like it was a sphere with a wyvern in it. Wyvern? How do you?
I always say wyvern. It's a sphere full of Sahuagin.
The Hagen.
Also, it's not a Pokeball. It's obviously a super monkey ball, but with a wyvern in it.
Hold on. It's a wyvern sphere. It's a Dragon Ball. Come
Oh,
on.
it is a wyvern sphere. You're right. That's my favorite knockoff of that cartoon. Wyvern Sphere X.
Oh yeah.
Good catch,
No, not
Dave.
really like Wyvern Sphere Z, you know.
Yeah.
Right. Well, anyway, another one of those pretentious, pretenders. She did save my life, so maybe we should kill all the rest of them, especially that Randolph fellow. Kill him first.
So mean.
I'm tired. Can we take a nap first?
Yeah, Rin, do you want to tell Macaria? Because Macaria just said, like, oh, there's another vampire lady in here, and it sounds familiar to you.
Well, what was the guy's name? Ursel?
Her name is
Ursel?
Haria, and
No,
his
but
name
the
is
dude.
Uktarl.
Uktarl, yeah. Uktarl told me that Haria and her people, the woman that you mentioned.
I didn't ask what her name was. She was.
Well, I'm assuming that that's going to be who. Are or
Wait a second.
Traitors or what have you. And that they should be convinced to
Wait
return.
a second. What?
So Uktar, I was like, why does Uktar sound familiar? So Uktarl is the guy's name. Uktar is a month in the Forgotten Realms. It's November. So his name is basically November.
Yeah.
Good. Cool.
Cool.
And so he said we have to convince her to come back or get rid of her.
Well, I prefer the killing method, but whatever you want.
Well, I think the quieter we can do it before we rest would be good. But if we'd like to, take advantage of the amenities here, rest in their little lounge room, if you can stand them for however long you need to, and then come at it fresh, then we have options.
I suppose we could do some more investigating or whatever.
If they're willing to not kill us for 14 hours, that would be helpful.
Well, I mean, Uktarl said we have safe harbor here until such a time as they tell us we don't.
Yes, well, the woman, I don't know what her name was. She had a flesh golem.
Well, that does seem harder to kill.
So while you're having this conversation, the door to that room opens and
That one
enters the flesh golem. So this enormous stitched together man pushes the door open and like steps out and looks at 8 and the others. And then behind him, this vampy, in both senses of the word, woman. She comes out and she sees all of you, and she smiles at Macaria, and she says, "Good work, my child.
Mm-hmm.
These must be your friends." And she turns and like looks at all of you.
Yes, that is who we are.
And she says, "I must apologize that you were forced to interact with Uktarl and his weakling brood."
What is the feud between you exactly?
Uktarl has some ideas about what it means to be a child of darkness. Ideas I disagree with. He has paltry ambition. He wants only to withdraw tolls from those who come and go from above. I have darker plans for Undermountain.
Like what?
Really?
Murder?
And
I would be curious to hear these plans.
she says, I cannot simply share them with strangers.
I'm your child, aren't I?
And when you say that, she says, yes, come to me. And like gives you like this, like, I am commanding you with my mind look.
I look at her like, do it.
Macaria like slumps over like
Good. And she puts her hand on Macaria's shoulder like, this is mine. I made this. And she says, all plans will be revealed in time as you prove your loyalty to me, as my dark daughter has. And she like pets your head.
gross.
Well, let me offer this piece of advice that this information that I have heard. as a token. This feud of yours with Uktarl, terrible name, is going to get out of hand very shortly. And if you don't have a plan for dealing with that, then I would suggest that you work on getting one. He has said to me personally that he wants you to return to the fold. And
she scowls and she says,
whether or not,
she starts to talk, and then it occurs to me that Rin would be really, really good at interrupting people in a conversation and getting away with it, because that's basically what your bard ability is, right? That let me have a word. So she like starts to talk, and she's like,
whether or not that is something you agree to, keep in mind that he is willing to do what it takes to quell the unrest within what he considers his territory.
She says, peace with Uktarl. Never again.
You sure you can't convince him of your better plans?
The time for talk is done.
I agree. Murder, probably.
And she nods. She says, one of us must meet our final death. And then the survivor can rule over the brood. Now you... Do you think he trusts you?
As much as one can trust someone they met an hour ago.
So long as he thinks that you are loyal, you have use to me. Kill him for me, and I will show you all the dark delights that our kind can provide. And she like flashes her fangs.
Well, what I really need is...
You're like, we're just trying to get out of here.
I don't really... Dark delights.
We don't want that shit. Like
pass on the delights, but here... What I really need is safe passage through the first level of this dungeon, as many times as necessary, up and down.
And she says, she nods. She says, of course, if you're willing to deal with my enemies for me, then you may go. But you, and she says this to Makaria, you and I will be bound together in darkness forever. No matter how far you go.
Thoughts,
and she nods. Yeah. She's just like, you understand. Good. She says, you look tired. You should rest. And she gestures to this door over here. And she says, my children await beyond. They too are in need of rest. Go. Join them.
Should we not infiltrate Uktarl's domain so that he can like trust us and we can murder him?
She shakes her head. She says, you will not be safe there.
But to rest with you is to create suspicion.
She shrugs.
He will suspect where we have gone.
If you think yourself strong enough to deal with him now, then please. And yeah, I like that Chat has pointed out that it's a feud separated by literally, like, let's see how far away they're literally standing 85 feet apart right now, like in a straight line.
Yep.
They're 100 feet away. It's like neighbors in an apartment complex that don't like each other. So yeah, she says, I only wanted to offer my hospitality as I did with my precious Makaria. She's like, again, like, mine for me. And then she says, but do as you will.
I'll find somewhere to rest myself and then get on with the task.
And she nods and she says, very well. Do not betray me, or you will live to regret it.
Of course.
All right. And then she fades off the map, just disappears back in her room. The flesh golem turns and follows after her.
So
here's the question.
Which one before we can rest?
So here's the question. Which one of them would you like to kill?
I don't care. I just hate all of them.
So Copper says, hey, I'm with the big boy. They're both intolerable.
I say we kill them all. I don't want to belong to anyone.
Let's do this more efficiently, though, and just get them to kill each other.
Well, they've already been trying to do that, and they can't because they're
We have to do is
horrible
say-
and inefficient.
All we have to do, it's very simple. All we have to do is say that we want to meet up with Uktarl, or whatever his fucking name is.
It is Uktal. You got it.
Uktarl.
Oh, just get them in the same room, lock them in for a while.
No,
My parents used to do that all the time.
No, you're missing my point. We say we want to talk to Uktarl. We go to Uktarl's room. Uktarl is with the four of us by himself, and then we just stab. He's just a person.
Yes,
I
but
mean,
she
that works,
thinks that
too.
she owns me.
And I like that you hate that, so I'd rather kill the other guy.
Why can't we just kill them both and then they won't have any
Because then we have to deal with all of the other power struggle, vacuum, vampire, quote unquote.
We can
business.
put Randolph in charge.
She has promised free passage 100% forever. That is fine by me.
Is that
All
better
right,
than
then
what?
we'll
what
kill
does that say?
Uktarl.
We
The other
just
guy-
we just go to the big hole in the Yawning Portal and we just pour buckets of lava.
We have to get one of those blocks,
Done.
though.
Yeah,
You gotta
right.
get like the generating blocks.
You hear this weird
Yeah.
hissing sound from around the corner.
We could collapse the whole whatever tunnel that leads to this section of the dungeon,
You
and then
are
we'll
all missing the
starve
point
to
of this
death.
entire exercise.
No,
The entire thing, the only reason I have humored any of this up until this point is if one of them is in charge and all of these people listen to them, then they can secure this level, which means we don't have to deal with whatever would move in if
Mhm.
they couldn't secure this level, you idiot.
no, I'm on it. That makes sense.
Okay,
You're like, all right.
pick one. I'm going to say the pirate guy because I like him less.
Okay, that's fine.
the pirate guy.
I dislike both of them.
I dislike both of them, but she at least saved my life, so I guess she can live and we'll be even.
Also, she has a flesh golem and he has nothing. So
It's true.
I want to see one of them try to kill the other ones. They won't do it. They're weak.
They haven't done it up till now. Anyway, I'm actually quite tired from nearly dying 5 times today. So
Yeah, and Copper's like, yeah, I thought the plan was to get out of the dungeon, not to get tangled up in Lord
Well,
Yep.
Lace Bottom's problems.
now that we have a safe place to rest, we need not go.
did you know I noticed I was looking in my spell book of spells that I can prepare daily, and there's one where I can have like spiritual guardians that surround me at all times.
Well, that sounds great. That sounds like a great spell. You should definitely prepare that spell.
You know, I thought about it, and then something deep inside me was like, no, you can't. It's better to make people angry. And so I decided that I would rather have zombies.
That sounds like everything I understand about you, Macario.
Copper's gonna go and write something angry about this and then post it on a board in the middle of town.
Ah, yes. A message board.
So yeah, so I mean, are you gonna? The thing is that you got vampires on both sides of you now. So slipping out is like going
mean-
to be difficult if that's the plan, right? To,
I feel like
rest.
the plan is
Rest
to
in
rest and
fucking
kill that
Vampire
guy.
Number one's place. Then I'm gonna ask.
Oh, yeah, so
for-
you're gonna take her up on the.
No, no. Vampire number one is the
Oh.
pirate guy. Vampire number two is the.
Yeah, the order in which we met them.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Not the order in which you are loyal to them.
I'm gonna go rest in pirate guy's coteries location.
We'll go
Well,
back
no.
there.
Now remember, they didn't offer you anywhere to rest, right?
They
The
said
guard.
Safe Harbor. I'll just hang out in their fucking parlor.
Yes, if you want to just like have a nap in the beanbag room.
Everybody else is doing this like dramatic lounging shit. I
That's
can
true,
do it
that's
and
true.
sleep.
It's very faux pas to fall asleep in the lounge chamber though. But if you
No,
did,
I'll just wear like a veil or something.
yeah, right. Just pretend that you're.
Jules a cat. She'll hide.
I mean, we could sleep here. There's a cool skeleton.
we could also just go back.
Yeah,
and
just take a
tell
nap
him.
on the bone throne.
No,
convince
it tried
him that
to
we wanna
kill
sleep.
me. It's not a bone throne. It's got traps on it. Oh, Jewel. Wait. This chair has traps on it.
I rolled a 20 on my investigation of also the room.
Yeah,
I
would you
guess.
like to take a look at the
Yeah.
dais? Okay.
I
If it
Um,
has traps on it, then maybe it has something valuable on it, around it.
So the throne itself, it does seem to have a like a container or like a compartment underneath it. There's like a hollow section.
I'd like to open it.
Okay, yeah, that's not hard. You just like lift the seat cushion and there's a switch that opens the front of it. It's empty.
So I figured.
Seriously?
Yeah.
This is very obvious. Look, it's just like pointing out, like, there's a snake right here. Did you just not? All right, whatever.
It was that stupid idiot.
There
Randall
was a
who
room that
distracting
I
me.
found, but I don't think any of you could sneak into it to sleep in there.
I don't. I'm just really tired. I will sleep right here.
Why don't we go back and like tell Tarl that we're taking care of his friend? We'll be gone for 14
And
hours.
then we take her up on the sleep.
Oh, that's the plan. We'll have the meeting after the rest to say like this is our plan, and then tell him the plan, and then we stab him.
Okay, well, why don't we just tell him we need a rest before we can do that plan
Yes,
and do it in his place so he's less suspicious.
exactly.
Oh, okay, great. Let's go.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So what's the plan?
Oh, what's down here? Is it another dead end?
What's down where?
This like
Yeah,
the-
it's a dead end.
Oh.
So Adam, I believe the plan is we are going to sleep in Uktarl's space, and then if anybody asks, we'll be like, "We're doing a job for Uktarl," and then we'll ask him for a meeting once we've fully rested, and then we'll say like, "This is our plan for taking out your enemy," and then surprise, we're actually here to kill you, and then kill him.
Okay. All right.
That is the full measure of the next 14 hours.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm into it. Let's kill some guys.
Or one guy.
Okay. All right. So if you're gonna spend 14 hours in the salon de noir, you have to.
I work on my character a little bit. I like create a LARP persona for myself and get really into it for the next 6 hours before I have to rest.
So spending that much time around these obnoxious vampire wannabes, I need everyone to make a wisdom saving
Wisdom
throw,
saving.
please.
Yeah, okay.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
If we fail, do we have to kill them there and then?
No, you don't
My
have
wisdom save isn't showing 15. I get a 15.
to. Okay. All right. So 15. Julie got
15.
14. Okay. All right.
Rolled a 3.
Give me a second.
Rin suffers from some bleed and starts getting confused about what's her character and what.
Oh no.
No wisdom
Rin
save.
becomes a vampire, she's pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
Rin,
get
you're
way
the
too-
only one. You're the only one. You end up with a level of exhaustion at the end of your long rest
That sucks ass.
because these guys are they're just the worst. Like they're just like reading each other terrible poetry. At one point, one of them sings like a dirge that lasts like 3 hours, and the rest of them, like, there's a lot of nodding and snapping of fingers. You
I'm
have
so
to sit
used to
through an
this.
entire poetry recital. It's terrible. And the others, your friends, are able to just ignore that because they're not as offended by this terrible affront to culture
Yeah,
that you
it's
are.
bad. It's bad music. Bad
I'm used to it
poetry.
from living with
Bad.
Calimbarites for so long.
All right.
Oh,
so,
in that time, if no one else does it, Jewel will attune, I guess, to this circlet and figure out what it does.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Oh
call.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I will tell you in secret what it does.
No.
And then you can decide what to do with that information.
He like takes it back for Rin. She's like, "Thank you for holding on to this. I'm sorry I got us in a lot of trouble, but
You're welcome. I'm Queen of the
Great.
Goblins now.
You're
You are.
welcome. I'm Queen of the Goblins. Yeah, so Rin, you'll have a level of exhaustion,
Cool.
and then it'll go away the next time you take a long rest.
Good. So
Um,
for the next 5 sessions, I'll have a level of exhaustion.
For now,
Deal.
listen, there's a risk. There's a risk involved in hanging out with these nerds.
There's a risk involved in taking a rest in the
Fine.
place we were told is a safe place to take a rest.
Yeah, you didn't get attacked.
Harsh.
You didn't get attacked by monsters. Let
Would have
me
been
see
better to get
here.
attacked by monsters. I could have killed monsters. I can't kill a level of exhaustion.
All right, let's see. Let's see where this business is here. Because I don't have the map. I have to like look through it.
If it's a circlet that makes you taller, can I please have it? Because I want to be taller.
All right.
It's very red.
Your
Big.
arm
Oh, yeah,
is
here we
so
go.
tall.
Yeah, I
9
just
feet
skipped
tall.
over it. It's in one of these like subsections.
I wouldn't even fit down a hallway.
Yuck, where are you? Aha! I found it. Okay. So, here, I'll just put it in your journal. There you go. You should see it in your journal now, Jewel.
What does it do? I want to know.
So you learn that, and can do with that information whatever you like. Everyone else, you get 8 hours. And Jewel, everyone gets 8 hours of sleep. You get all your abilities and stuff back. All of that business.
Do I have to attune to this?
And we have-
if you intend to wear it, yes.
And we get
She's gonna do it because she thinks it's fucking hilarious.
half of the hit die rounded down, right?
Okay, hang on a second. And then, yes, yeah, half of your hit dice come back. So 10, 1, and I'm just tracking the various timers. Okay, and then, so now you need another, what do we say, another 8 hours before you can start your next long rest? Because it's like 8 sleeping.
16. It's 16 hours. It's 8 sleeping, 16 waking, 8 sleeping.
Yeah, but it's like you can start the rest 8 hours before you get its benefits.
That's why
Yeah,
it's
which is why it's 16 hours
16.
until we can
Instead of
start.
24.
Instead of 24.
Because then
You're
it
right.
makes it 24.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So 16 hours till then. All right, cool. So yeah, you awaken after a long night of torturous vampire fakery. The vampires come and go from this room as they go out on patrol of their area. They come back from patrol. You see them coming and going from this back room occasionally, and it seems like if you had to count, you'd guess on Uktarl's side, counting Uktarl, there's probably, I'll count them up for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of them on Uktarl's like team.
And how much more experienced do we feel after having
That's a
this?
great question. Let me pay out your experience. So first, everybody gets 675 experience for the 36 goblins, 3 boss goblins, and 3 bugbears.
600 and how many?
675. And then Makaria, you get an extra 250 for the drinking contest. And then, guy, who made the roll? I'm gonna split it. I think it was Makaria and Rin. Makaria and Rin both get another 125 for negotiating the bandit intimidation, all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm at 1173.
Yeah.
Oops. Wrong way, Lauren.
Got so many more hit points than me.
All right.
Okay.
It's not so bad.
All right.
Okay.
Well, why don't we make like our characters and take a quick break, and then we can try to execute at least the beginning of Operation Destroy All LARPers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll be back in like 16 hours, right?
Yeah,
Make like,
exactly.
our characters. Yeah.
That's right. So stick around. We will be right back to conclude today's episode.